Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Apples and Ginos Fantasy Hockey Podcast. This is week 5 of Trade Talks. My name is Evan, and I'm joined by Brian and Ryan. And today we'll be rolling through some of our favorite trade targets. We'll provide some trade grades on some real trades, and we'll highlight some of the other players of interest in week 5 of your fantasy hockey season. Let's go. All right, everyone. Welcome in Trade Talks. This is Evan, and I'm back. Had a banger of a Halloween, just kind of getting over the sugar rush here. Stole all the kids' candy, scared them all, and I'm back, boys. Am I scary to be back here with you?
We're fired up to have you back. You know, it was, I think I was telling you before we went live, I think Ryan and I were agreeing on too much last week. So it'll be nice to get some disagreements from you, hopefully by the end of the episode here today.
Yeah, three's a good number for the Trade Talks trio. We couldn't even come up with a good name for the Brian and Ryan whatever. I don't even know what that was.
Yeah, which is why, Evan, if you saw the video, we also included a picture of you on the front here, so you were never left behind.
I did. I was laughing pretty hard about some of the ghost comments because I have them in like quite a few spots, and I was like, man, he really is ghosting me. It's the sad humor that we find ourselves here with fantasy hockey, but yeah, I'm excited to get into it. We already have a comment, which I'll go over. News feeds. We iced 3D in my 10-team head-to-head points leagues. Light bangs. I have Fox, Harley, Lacombe, and Yossi on IR. Might be able to trade Fox for a slow start point. Know the New York Rangers have a better schedule than Tampa Bay rest of season /playoff. Thoughts? My thoughts are, looking at this, I normally don't like trading a high-end D like that for a high-end center. I guess it depends on like who his centers would be. But for me personally, I don't think I would do that. Ryan, I'll throw it to you first.
Yeah, that's interesting. I would do it. I would take point. I think that point, nothing has really changed for point in my mind from draft day, and I would still consider him a third rounder. And it's just like, where would you take a D-man in that 10-team league? And for me, 10-team league, it's more shallow. I think you don't necessarily need to reach for those high-end D in such a shallow league. So I'd go for point.
Yeah, I'm just going to second what Ryan said. I would go for point. It's at a slow start, but we know what point is very reliable, and he's going to bounce back. So I'd go get point.
Right before we get into the news, I love Braden Point, and he scored a great goal in their last game. What's interesting is I was actually looking at Point as a trade target. Probably should have added that. Spoiler, he's not one of our trade targets. But looking at his stats over the past 3 seasons, everything has declined. His points, his power play points, his shots, his like offensive zone rush, like everything has gone down, which is interesting to me. I don't know if Gensel has to do with that this past year or just a team as a whole, but I think he is super reliable. So that's an interesting one to start off with, but we'll start to get into it here with the Newsies. Brian, you want to hit us up with the first little bit here?
Yeah, for sure. Newsies, one of our favorite segments of every episode we do. Kicking things off, we got Tristan Jarry and Justin Brazeau placed on the IR, which might be a little heartbreaking for those of you that have had a piece of, especially Justin Brazeau to start the season. I know the Penguins have been nuclear to get going, but if you have an IR spot, pop him on the IR, and it'll be good to go there. Archer Sealaws is a 0G option, ? Quite possibly. He's looking like he's in a little bit of a split here, but he's been playing really well over the season. So if he is available, I'd imagine he is available in a lot of leagues. It could be worth a scoop up. Ryan, are you grabbing Archer Sealaws at any point in any of your leagues right now?
I think in a lot of these points leagues, I'm definitely considering it if he's available. I think he'll get the bulk of the starts, and really that's what I'm after in those points leagues. Just give me 3 starts a week, and if you can do that, especially if they don't really punish like average or bad starts, I'm doing it. In categories leagues, I'm not touching Pittsburgh goalies yet.
Yeah. I hear that. So, I mean, I guess the bar is set with Jordan Binnington way at the bottom, and then anything above that is great. I'm joking. But moving on here, we also got Trocheck skating, which might mean he is close to return, which is really exciting. For those of you that have Trocheck, we know that the Rangers are in desperate need of shaking things up and get some more offense here. On the other hand, what's probably going to happen, Lafreniere will probably be demoted off the power play, but not really a big of a loss because he hasn't done much with the opportunity yet. So keep an eye out for Trocheck. For any of you that didn't have the chance to put him on the IR, if you don't have the spot, go scoop him up. He's definitely very valuable. Noah Hannafin returned against Detroit the other day, and he was actually playing really well. I was watching that game a little bit, and I feel the most common name that I heard by the announcers was Noah Hannafin. Noah Hannafin doing this. So he's back. He could provide a little bit of value for you there as well. And then lastly, on this first one, we got Peter Kochetkov returned in style. He posted a shutout. So likely there'll be still a little bit of a split in net here, but Kochetkov is obviously on a very good team. The environment he's in is very, very valuable. So if you want to use him kind of as a spot start here or there, definitely valuable to do so.
I got a question for you guys when you're reading Kochetkov's names. In my mind, when I read it, I always really pronounce Piotr or Piotr. Do you guys do the same thing when you say Peter?
I don't think I've ever thought of that, but now that I'm looking at the name and thinking it, you definitely do. Piotr. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard not to, honestly. I'd like to announce real quick breaking news. Alex Ovechkin has just scored his 900th goal, gentlemen. I'm sure you guys are getting notifications as well. Pretty interesting stuff.
Is that good?
Yeah, I don't know. Interesting stuff. We'll move on. Ryan, you want to get into the back part of this Newsies?
Let's do it. So it looks like Sam Dickinson and Zane Parekh have both played their 10th game and are going to burn an entry-level contract year on their contracts. So they're pretty likely to remain in the NHL. Really nothing to gain there for them to go back to the OHL. So Zane Parekh, he's an interesting, talented player. He hasn't really done much on Calgary's power play one with the opportunity. He got one assist. And then they've been really, snapping with him and Mackenzie Weegar there and Rasmus Anderson. They don't know who to put on. Nothing's really working. So he's definitely someone to keep an eye out. And if he does gel well and really turn things around on that top power play, that's definitely worth a pickup. But at this moment, I'm not holding on to him. I'm dropping him until he really proves something. And then in Toronto tonight, and Oliver Ekman-Larsson is on the top power play over Morgan Rielly, which is interesting. That would be terrible news for Morgan Rielly, as he was having a great season. But without that top power play unit, he will be downgraded to probably a 40-point defenseman, barely rosterable in a lot of leagues. And then Easton Cowan had a spot on that top power play in the last game and didn't do much with it. So he got sent down to the Toronto Marlies today. And Matthew Nyes is right back up there in his spot. So no concern there for Matthew Nyes. Easton Cowan, definitely an interesting player. I think if he plays some games on the Marlies and continues to develop and works his way back up into that top six, which they were playing him in, he's definitely worth an ad in the future. What do you guys think about Easton Cowan and the Toronto power play situation?
Honestly, Cowan, when watching the Leafs games, he looks like he's the only one trying out there, and I applaud effort. So I actually really like Cowan. I thought he looked pretty good out there, but definitely some development in the AHL will do him some wonders here. But yeah, I'm a Toronto fan, so we should probably mark that first.
Yeah, I think we should be looking at Mitch Marner as a trade target, maybe. Yeah, you guys would know better than I rostered him in a few spots thinking that he might stick there for a minute, and then he got demoted, as you said, Ryan. So that was a tough look.
Yeah, I grabbed him on Monday, liking the Monday-Wednesday schedule for the Leafs, being like, oh yeah, Easton Cowan is on the top power play. Okay, hello. And just got me one game with no points.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
But otherwise, we have a different streamer, Jack Roslovich, who is really gelling well with Leon Draisaitl on that second line. And he in the last 2 games got moved up to the top power play instead of David Tomaszek, and he is really thriving, and things are looking good for Jack Roslovic. I think even when Hyman comes back, Roslovic will stay in the top 6 and he'll be in the conversation on that top power play. Although I do think they'll try Zach Hyman there if he's healthy, if his wrist is fully healed. He should be in front of the net there. But Jack Roslovic, I'm definitely holding on to him where I picked him up. And if you haven't picked him up yet, I would definitely do so. Have either of you guys taken a look or picked up Jack Roslovic? Evan, have you?
No, one of my buddies beat me to it in one league. I'm getting late to some of these waiver parties at 3 a.m., midnight, etc. But yeah, he was a great stream, and I think that's what he's going to continue to be even without top power play time. So yeah, really good stuff from him. And like when you watch him play on that power play, he's like quick passes, quick shots. So yeah, really exciting.
Yeah, I wasn't looking to wake up at 4 a.m. to pick up Roslovic, but I will tell you my opponent did, so now I'm paying the price. So that's just how it goes, you know?
Yeah. All right, and unfortunately, Pierre-Luc Dubois is out for an extended period of time with a probable knee injury, lower body injury, although they're saying that he did avoid a season-ending injury, so he will be back at some point this season. But in the meantime, Jacob Chychrun has been elevated to the top power play. And he did get a power play point tonight, if I wasn't mistaken, on Tom Wilson's goal. So great news for Chychrun stocks.
Chychrun's got 2 points tonight. 3 points. He's got 3
Three?
points.
Really,
Got
three assists. Yeah,
Wow.
he's cooking, and I think really like he's an interesting player because like you didn't know what they were going to do with this power play, but with this PLD news, I think that's massive because Chychrun, as we know, like is like an easy 45 to 50 point defenseman. I think even without, again, solidified PP1 and like, 15, 20 goals, shot volume, wicked shot. It's not on the YouTube if you're watching, but if you're listening, another Newsies is Matt Zuccarello was labeled as day-to-day by Coach Hines. So picked him up in a spot. I had him like as an IR stash in a few spots, and I really think Minnesota needs him to help facilitate that first and second line. Like I think if you put Boldy and Jeek on that second line, he was that missing piece last year, like the Rossi, Kaprizov, and Zuccarello, and I think he's just going to facilitate better on the power play too, unfortunately, over Tarasenko. Any thoughts on that, gentlemen?
Yeah, I picked up Zuccarello like I think 2 weeks ago just to stash him. So I'm hoping he comes back for maybe Friday, Sunday. That would be great. Really give me a game's advantage. But yeah, I love being the zucchini man. How can you not?
Zucchini.
Yeah. In the APL league in Tier 1, I drafted the Zucchini Man. So this is what my team was waiting for. My team's struggling in Tier 1 of the APL, but just watch out. Next week, we have Matt Zuccarello coming back, and that's going to make loads of difference. I hope I'm up against Blake. We'll see.
I love that. Some more comments here. Blister Boy, hey gents, 12-team Banger Cats Keepers League. Keep 4, likely not keeping Panarin if the trade is successful. Panarin and 6th round pick for my Kadri and 4th round pick. That's interesting. Brian, I'll throw it to you first. I'm not sure about that one.
Panarin, can you pull that comment back up? Yeah, so it's Panarin and a 6th round pick for Kadri and a 4th. No, I wouldn't. I'd hold on to Panarin. Likely not keeping Panarin if the trade is successful. Yeah, I would hold on to Panarin. I think he's had a slow start, but I don't see much changing for him this year. I still think he's going to get his points. And if it comes to points, like points also weigh a lot in a Cats league. Obviously, you have goals, assists, points, power play points maybe in this scenario. And I think Panarin's going to deliver a lot more than Kadri would.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think he's giving up Kadri and his 4th round pick, and he's receiving Panarin and a 6th.
Okay, I misread that. Then yes, I would do that. I would try to get Panarin on your team and settle for a 6th round pick. Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah, I would as well. I'm assuming, I don't know if the 4th round pick is like a legit 4th round pick, or because you keep 4, it would be technically like an 8th round pick. So if it's the latter, I would do that in a second. Yeah.
There you go. Harry with some comments. Drop Michkov ? It's getting there for sure. Zegras is the guy. I don't know. I think he definitely is droppable in certain formats, but I don't know that I have the stomach to. Ryan, I know you had him and you brought him to the court a few times. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I'm not ready to drop him. He's just got so much skill, so much talent, and it's the Trevor Zegras show in Philly at the moment, and that's that. We'll see if that lasts a while. I don't know if Zegras is the next big superstar in the NHL, but Michkov definitely has that potential. Maybe they're both bound to be superstars, and Michkov should turn it around. I'm still holding on, even though I think he's pretty guilty in the court.
He
Brian,
wasn't
you
guilty
dropped
though. He wasn't guilty.
He wasn't.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. I know he hasn't been anything that close to what we were expecting, but I would have a hard time dropping Mishkov as well because the talent is there. Not the same, but similar instance with Nikolaj Ehlers. He's starting the year really slow. He finally scored the other day. And a lot of people wanted to drop him. And I think in this instance that you probably have someone else on your team that you can drop for a stream before you even go to Mishkov.
Yeah. With Michkov, just looking at his game logs, he had 15 minutes, 28 in the last game. He had 13:41, 15:52, 14:32, 14:49, and that's just not good. That's John Tortorella numbers, and we need that up in the 18 to 20 range for my preseason expectations of Michkov. And yeah, so if that remains, he might be a drop, but I think we'll give it maybe 10 more games and reevaluate at the quarter mark of the season.
There you go. Similar question. What should I do with Buyam? I think Nate kind of went over this in the last show as well. He's again, in a lot of spots, he could be droppable without that top power play, but in his minutes, but I think again, he's a young defenseman. I think if he gets that top power play, he was doing stuff with it when Minnesota was rolling. So I would have a tough time if you got 4 or 5 D-men and a 12 team plus, but outside of that, I think you could realistically.
Yeah. He did score a power play goal on the second unit the other day, but he also gives you absolutely nothing peripherally. So if you're hurting for a spot, I don't think I'd blame you for dropping him, but if he gets back up to power play 1, you're going to be kicking yourself that you don't have him on your team.
Oh,
fair enough.
All right. Now we're getting to our trade targets, players to target for potential trades as we go over every week. And I'm pretty sure, Brian, you were the one that brought Jordan Kyrou.
I did. Yeah, I did. Jordan Kyrou, right now, I'm just looking at his game log, and he has a bunch of donuts on the year. Not having the greatest of starts to the year. He's shooting less. His point pace is less. But with all that in mind, he has some pretty good underlying metrics. Just looking at his point pace right now, he's at 0.62 points per game as opposed to last year's around 0.85. So we already know he has the skill. I think he does have the ability to up that points. We just got to see some of the points go, or some of the pucks go into the net. Looking at his shots per 60 rank, he's still 57th. When a season long, he's around 100, around the 100 mark. So running hot there. Individuals, Corsi 4 is running a little hot. I was looking at a couple others. There was the Corsi 4 scoring chances for, expected goals per 60 rank. Those are all up. So he should be getting some more goals. It just seems like nothing is going in right now. And if you're up against someone and they have Jordan Kyrou, probably not what they were expecting, this would be a great opportunity to maybe try to pitch it and be like, hey, Jordan Kyrou is not delivering what you want. You may as well, let me take him off your hands for you. I would even suggest, there's a couple different ways I'd go about this. But you can try to offer up a player that is running really hot that you don't think will maintain that pace. Someone like Dawson Mercer, who is playing power play 1 the last time I checked, and he's been really good up there. Who knows how long he's going to stick around in power play 1, but I think I'd prefer Jordan Kyrou over Dawson Mercer. Maybe someone's looking in the short term instead of the long term. And then another option here, which I know might get met with a little more restrictions here, but Geeky for Kyrou. I think Kyrou has a higher points ceiling than Geeky, but obviously Geeky delivers a lot more of those peripherals. So a couple options there, but if you have the chance, I'd be snatching up Kyrou.
Interesting. Yeah, those players you bring up, Yeah, I would definitely trade Geeky and or Dawson Mercer for Jordan Kyrou. I am worried about Kyrou though, and Brian, maybe if we were in a league and I owned Kyrou, maybe we'd be able to work something out actually. Um, all the metrics you brought up, those are per 60 numbers, so per minute basis. Like he's doing his thing. He looks great, but now that Rob Thomas is back, look at the last game. He had 14 minutes of ice time, 14:43 before that. When Rob Thomas was injured, that's when he was getting like 18, 19 minutes. But I'd be worried with the lack of ice time we saw with Jim Montgomery last year, if that's going to continue. And I think if that'll continue, he'll struggle to even reach 65 points this year.
I mean, and that's a great point to bring up. For me personally, I just want to, I like the talent that's there, and I'd feel more comfortable with that on my team. If you can really pry off, if you have someone of lesser value, that's when you make the trade. But that is a really good point to look out for. Definitely for everyone listening, take a look at the ice time, because that does definitely impact a player's outlook for the season, Ken.
Yeah, I mean, you bring up a St. Louis Blues player, and all of a sudden Ryan instantly has to attack their personal character and their ability to play hockey. This is a guy that's gotten no less than 65 points in 4 straight seasons. So, I'm kind of with you, Brian. I don't think he's as exciting as people that kind of drafted him would think if the Blues kind of continued and put him on the top power play. And Harry kind of nailed it here, and I would tend to agree. The Blues suck right now. They really do. They do not look good. But some of these guys are buy lows. And I think Jordan Kyrou is probably the easiest, most interesting one outside of maybe Rob Tom that you'd have to pay more for sure. Moving on to Ryan's trade target, Matt Boldy.
All right, Brian, I'll give you every opportunity to hate on Matt Boldy if you wish after I'm done. But yeah, right now, I think if you drafted Matt Boldy, you're fine with him. You know, he had a great hot streak, but maybe in the last few weeks, you're looking, what has he done for you lately? And he hasn't done much. He's only gotten 2 assists in the last 6 games with no goals. And Minnesota as a whole have been struggling. If you're looking at like the full season, Matt Boldy is right around like the 30 to 40 ranked skater, which you probably drafted him. Probably rank around the 30th pick. So you're okay with him, but he hasn't impressed you greatly. He impressed you greatly in the first week, but that's it. So I think now is a great opportunity to go after Matt Boldy. If you're looking at his underlying numbers per 60 metrics, he has increased his shot attempt rate. Last season at even strength, he shot 18.36 shot attempts per 60. The season before that, it was 16.9, but this season it's at 21.66, and that has turned into increased shots as well. So his shot attempt rate has increased, his scoring chances for has increased, his high danger for scoring chances for has greatly increased. That's like up, I think, 60% from the previous seasons at even strength. It's just he has a low shooting percentage right now. He's shooting 6% at even strength. That was 10% last year, 13% the year before. So I think things will bounce back for Matt Boldy. Things will improve as Minnesota improves. Also, the on-ice shooting percentage is super low at 8%. And yeah, Minnesota, again, out of the gate, they were amazing, but the last 2 weeks, they haven't been great. And I think it's a great opportunity to trade for Matt Boldy. You might need to pull off a 2-for-1 to get this, because if you did draft him, you're fine with him. So I would, maybe do like a Matthew Knies and Pavel Dorofeyev. Maybe that'll get a Matt Boldy holder to say yes, or Matthew Knies and Logan Cooley. I think Matthew Knies is like really exceeded expectations and would be a great, not necessarily a sell high, but a great piece of trade bait. And then, like maybe a Kadri and Matvei Michkov, although Matvei Michkov maybe not anymore. We'll see about that. And if we're just talking like a 1-for-1 and where I'd rank Matt Boldy right now, I would take him over Crosby. I would take him over Connor Bedard. I would take him over Cole Caulfield. I would take him over Mark Scheifele and Dylan Larkin. So those are all guys who are extremely hot right now that I would gladly trade away in a 1-for-1 and receive Matt Boldy. So I think Matt Boldy's a great trade target.
Wow. For those of you that aren't watching, you should have seen Evan's eyes pop out of his head when Ryan said he would take him over Crosby.
Said the kid.
Yeah, honestly,
Wow.
like what my rebuttal was going to be, hey, you know what, Ryan, you have to give up a lot to get Matt Boldy because he had a great start to the year. People probably drafted him in the 3rd, 4th round. And then you backed it up with giving away Crosby giveaway. So I don't really have a rebuttal. Like Matt Boldy, you need him on your team. He shoots the lights out. Has exposure to Kaprizov, so high end talent. He's a great player in his zone. I don't really have a rebuttal. Evan, you got anything?
No, I kind of agree with everything Ryan said, except for Sid the Kid. Every year I doubt him and, his draft position, and every year he kind of shows up and just spanks me in pretty much every league that I play against him. So, but yeah, no, I love Matt Boldy. I think he's a great buy low target based on what he's done in like recent memory here. And yeah, maybe like Ryan said, maybe you have some concerned managers about, Minnesota. I know a lot of people stacked Minnesota too. So maybe somebody's like, well, maybe I have Kaprizov and Boldy, or maybe I have Jeek and Boldy, and I want to get off one of them, and you target Boldy. So, yeah, I think it's really good. And I think this is a good segue real quick, Ryan, into this comment. Am I crazy for trading Cutter Gauthier for Boldy in my points league? Absolutely not. You're a hero. Ryan, I'll let you comment on that.
Yeah, that is just amazing. Zimbabwe, great job. He also said he felt like it was a pretty good trade, but the person I traded it with was gloating a bit. Oh wow, well you should take some screenshots. This is what I do. I love being petty. If people are hating on my trades, take some screenshots, and then at the end of the season, post those in the group chat once you're a fantasy champion.
Exactly. And if it doesn't pan out, you delete them and you move on.
Yeah, there you go. No one else took screenshots.
Another comment, Jordan. Thoughts on trading away Carlson and Nichushkin to receive Hedman and open up a streaming spot? 12-team Cats, goals, assists, power play points, shots on goal, hits, and blocks. I'm not sure if he means Leo Carlson or John Carlson. I'm assuming Leo because he's so hot, but maybe it's not. I think either way, I still would do this for Hedman. Brian, what do you think?
If it's John Carlson, I would not. If it's Leo Carlson, I think I would, just because John Carlson, he blocks a ton more, which is super valuable, and he's still on that top power play. Just trade away Carlson and Nichushkin to get only Hedman back. Yeah, I probably wouldn't do that. If it's Leo Carlson, sure, because I expect the top guys in Anaheim to regress something. They're not going to be averaging 3 points a game every game, right? Right, guys? Right? I hope not, because I'm playing against Anaheim guys this week. Yeah, that would be my takeaway. If it's John Carlson, no. If it's Leo Carlson, yes.
Ryan?
Interesting. I might say the opposite. I think if it's Leo Carlson, I can't do that.
Yeah.
He's just, like I've been proven wrong about Anaheim. I did not think that Quenneville would play all these young guys over 20 minutes a night. Just was not expecting that. So that really changes my outlook on all these Anaheim guys, and I'm a lot higher than them than I was preseason. Although there are injuries to Mikael Granlund, Kreider was out a bit. Ryan Strome, I think, is also still injured. So I guess we'll have to see how things play out when everyone's healthy. But yeah, I'm just really impressed with the ice time that Quenneville has given these young guys.
Yeah, no, like you were talking about keeping receipts and photos to post in the after year stuff, Ryan. I got clowned to no end from my buddies who keep a close watch on this show, saying Cutter Gauthier was going to get 40 goals. And every time I talk to him now, I bring up Cutter Gauthier. So, it's hard. But yeah, it's tough when you're playing somebody that has both Cutter Gauthier and Leo Carlson in one of my leagues last week, because that was a tough watch. But watching them spank the Florida Panthers 7-3, they got something going there. All right, moving on to my guy, Luke Hughes. Brian, don't worry. I know you have Luke Hughes in a lot of spots.
I'm sweating.
Luke Hughes as my trade target. Listen, he's not doing great right now, but it's Luke Hughes, guys. This is the lowest he's going to be all season. Book it right now. They're still doing the split power play, but it's not really split. They're still running Dougie and Dawson Mercer over Luke Hughes and Timo Meyer in the top power play. The Devils invested in him. They signed him to that contract. I totally believe that he's going to kind of pop off at some point. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Dougie has only played a full schedule of games 2 out of the last 6 seasons. So I don't think Dougie can stay healthy this whole season, number one. Number two, I think they trade him. I think realistically, they want to show that Dougie can still shoot and score and be a valuable defenseman. So maybe they're trotting him out there to show his value and then trade him off of the team at the deadline. At any point, Luke Hughes is going to pace for what we think he is once he gets that top power play. And I think it's going to happen. There's a lot of people that are low on Luke Hughes now. His value is next to nothing. He's only got 7 assists in 13 games, which really isn't that bad. The problem is he does nothing peripherally. But I still am all in on Luke Hughes, and I think that once he gets that opportunity, he's going to run with it. We saw shades of it the past 2 seasons. I'm still in on Luke Hughes. Brian, I know this is going to help calm your nerves. Ryan, any rebuttal to that?
Not much. It's like he's a defenseman where at this point in the season, if you're looking to like pick up a defenseman on waivers, you're not finding anyone as talented as Luke Hughes, and you're not even finding anyone who could still get some power play points like Luke Hughes can. So yeah, I don't think he is, a drop by any means, and I think in some people's mind, they're like, oh, do I drop Luke Hughes? Because he's doing absolutely nothing other than some assists. So yeah, I think that's a great time to buy, to go to those managers, be like, are you going to drop this guy or what? Like, I'll give you this for him if you don't want to drop him. I think his value is super low. I would be concerned, like if Dougie Hamilton doesn't get injured, then this might be what you have all season. And that's just not valuable as a like third defenseman. And it's like, it could be great, fine as a fourth defenseman, but yeah, like I think you have very valid points, and I think it's a great buy candidate.
I think if his brother doesn't go crashing into the boards like you want him to, then we'll be all right.
I don't wish this for anyone. All right.
We heard how you talked to him, and we saw how he responded to you. I'll get that clip, and we'll put it in the Discord.
Just put my face over that
on the reporter.
Face.
Yeah. Some more comments. Hey, this next move 79, trying to trade for Brady Tkachuk, offered Elias Pettersson and Cam Fowler, keeper. I mean, yeah, if they'll take that. Without knowing the points or cats or anything like that. But yeah, Brady Tkachuk for Pettersson and Fowler, smash it. I'm assuming you guys agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's being accepted. Sorry.
Veto. Armin.
Not a veto.
Nazar sell high. If so, who would you trade him for in Cacuffle? I think Nazar's sell high window has somewhat closed. Like he started out super hot and he's kind of cooled off a bit. If you can still sell him high, sure. I don't know necessarily what for. It kind of depends on your team and everything, but I think his true like sell high window is somewhat closed. Armin again, who are some players that targeted to trade Geeky for in standard cats with hits, plus minus, and blocks? I'm not sure. I kind of really like Geeky. I got him in a lot of spots, but I mean, if you can get a more surefire, like, I don't know, I'm thinking like a Travis Konechny, Kirill Marchenko, like, I don't know that anyone would trade any of those, but like a guy that normally would get more production just based on that. I don't know, any players pop into your guys' head?
For me, it's hard to like, who you trading Geeky away for. I think if
Panarin.
Geeky went, yeah, great. If Geeky went drafted in like the 16th or 18th round in your draft, I don't think people who didn't draft him are gonna buy into what Geeky is selling over here, and you're not gonna trade him for Panarin, for Hagel, for Nick Schmaltz. Like I don't think it's gonna happen. So it really depends on your league mates and their feelings on Geeky.
Could you trade him for, drumroll, Alex Tuck? Would anyone take that?
I don't know that anyone would. If they did, I would absolutely smash the accept button.
No one would.
But that's a good one. Jordan said it was, in fact, John Carlson and Nichushkin for Hedman in that Cats League discussion. So, Ryan, fear none. It's not Leo Carlson, so you can make the trade.
All right.
Let's see. Armin again. Thoughts on Fantilli long term? Long term, great. I mean, like keeper league, like dynasty, yeah.
How long? How long of term?
Yeah, how long?
Rest of the season? No. Longer than that? Yeah.
Again, we're waiting for a Sean Monahan injury.
Yeah.
Well, guys, when Fantilli is on your team, a week is a long time. So
yeah, I was just going to say, Ryan, you dropped him in the We Call Ourselves Expert League, and I've been eyeballing him ever since, especially after you were so high on him in so many spots.
Yeah, no. So long term, great. But if he is spending
week to week,
if he's spending too long on your team to start the season as of now, yeah, I dropped him. I don't like the ice time he's getting. I love his talent, but I'll wait until he gets a big boost.
All right, and then last one here, Jordan. Would you take Boldy over Gensel? That's a tough one for me. I would, yes, take Boldy over Gensel. Brian, you?
Not tough.
Yeah, not tough for me. Yes.
I think they're like closer than who are we talking about? You know, like other guys. But yeah, I mean, Boldy apparently. Ryan, you got some bets on him probably. Didn't you say you had over 90 points or something? Maybe at the future.
I don't think I have. I think I have a 40 goal one, but yeah, I think I have a 40 goal one, not a 90-point one.
Something in there. Not as good as Jack Greaves. We're going to get into our trade grades here. So again, guys, get in here, get into the Discord, send us your trades. We will go over them, give them our trade grades, see if we would have made the trade. Did you fleece them? Was it just okay? So let's get into these trades here.
Yeah.
Ryan, you want to start off this one?
Let's do it. So we are gonna squeeze in 10 of these big boys today. So we're gonna rapid fire these a little more than usual. So if we do spend a little less time talking about a certain trade, apologies. But this one is a 12-team points league. A goal is 3, an assist is 1, and then we have some peripherals: hit 0.3, block 0.2, pim 0.1. Shorty is 1, and power play point is 0.5. So we are giving away Andrei Kuzmenko and Vince Dunn, and we are receiving Kevin Fiala. And yeah, I honestly don't want to spend too much time on this. This is just an A+. I'm handing out an A+. This is a no-brainer. I don't know why you would second guess this at all. Kevin Fiala he's gonna get at least he's on pace for 70 points. I think that's in line with expectations. I have him improving a bit on that. And Kuzmenko and Vince Dunn are, maybe top 100 players, top 120 players. So A+ for me.
Very nice. I don't know why I gave it an A-. I'm going to throw in the plus now because I actually don't even know how I misread this. I think when I looked at it, I thought Brandon Montour for some reason. I did not like Vince Dunn. So this is even more. And they just took Kuzmenko off of that top line and the top power play in favor of Corey Perry. And then they have, I believe, Yoel Armia up there with Kopitar. So not top line, I guess, but yeah, it's an absolute smash. Nothing else to say. Brian, are you getting a boom going here?
Yeah, boom. I think this might be my first A+. I'm not sure, but yeah, I don't have to spend much time on this. You're getting Kevin Fiala. We love Kevin Fiala. The other two, I'm okay with. So yeah, I'm smashing that all day.
Awesome. All right, trade number 2, Brian, get us into this.
All right. Got to clear my throat. This trade here, we got a 12 teams Cats League. So the categories here: goals, assists, points, power play points, shots on goal, face-off wins, hits, and blocks. This was submitted by Face-Off Ninja. And in this instance, you're going to be giving away Draisaitl and Brandon Dillon, and you're going to be receiving Zibanejad, Mitch Marner, and Zach Hyman.
All right. Ooh.
All right. I think I'm up here. I am not doing this trade. This is a D+ for me. It's not an F. It's not terrible, but we're not giving away Draisaitl in this league that counts face-off wins. If you can get, almost a league leader in face-off wins on the left wing position, not even one of your centers, he's probably the the second best player in this format still, even with Edmonton not crushing it yet. Like, I think Edmonton's going to turn around and be the superstar teams, and McDavid and Draisaitl like they have been. And Draisaitl's, I would say, the top 2 or 3 player in this league. And we're just not getting enough. Zibanejad, Marner. I'm kind of ignoring Brendan Dillon here, and even ignoring Zach Hyman. Hyman's coming back. Maybe he'll do well, but last year Hyman was pretty actually droppable in a lot of leagues. So really, in my eyes, it's Draisaitl for Zibanejad and Marner, and you're just not getting enough for what I see as the second best player in this league.
Pretty much agree with everything you said. You're a harder grader, Ryan. I gave it a C+. I would not make this trade. The only reason I threw it as a C+, I guess, is because I do kind of believe in the Zibanejad Marner part of the trade. But yeah, I'm with you. You never want, this is like kind of just a cardinal rule of trades, right? You don't want to be giving up like the best player for like 2 or 3 like good players. Like, Draisaitl is an excellent player. I found it kind of ironic. Shout out to you, Faceoff Ninja, because his name is Faceoff Ninja, but then he said he was punting faceoffs in this Cats league that kind of faced off. So, but yeah, I mean, if you're punting a category, it's fine to punt a category, I guess. But yeah, like for Draisaitl, when he's getting that many, like, even without the faceoffs, honestly, I still am not. So agree with everything that Ryan said. And Brian, no booms here.
No booms. I'm not making this trade either. You're giving up the best player. I don't like that. I take a look at Dillon. He's, good peripherally, but that's about it. And you're going to get back a couple of decent players. But again, to Ryan's point, you have no idea what kind of Zach Hyman you're going to be getting back. New York has enough problems on their own, and Zibby's included there. So I don't want to give up Draisaitl for that. So no, thank you.
Fair point. Moving on to our next trade. This is one that I found really interesting, actually. So this is he actually made 3 separate trades, Terry G29. This is a 14-team keeper league categories with goals, assists, points, power play points, shots, hits, blocks. And then he kind of included some picks here as well. So the first part of the trade was Horvat and a 4th-round pick for Valeri Nichushkin and a 2nd-round pick. The second trade was Rantanen and a 2nd-round pick for Matthew Tkachuk and a 1st-round pick. And the last part of the trade was Dahlin and a 14th rounder for Yossi and another 1st-rounder. So the kind of context for this scenario was he said he won the league last year and he was trying to sell off this year in preparation for the following year. So he's getting back 2 1st-rounders. He's getting back Yossi, Matthew Tkachuk, and Nichushkin. He's selling high on some guys right now like Horvat, like Rantanen, and Dahlin. So we'll get into our grades here.
Some extra context here. It's a keep 3 league, so you just keep 3 players. So that 1st-rounder is technically like a 4th-rounder.
Mm-hmm. And Brian?
Yeah, so the way I looked at this, I actually broke it down into 3 separate trades and gave it 3 separate picks here. But overall, I guess you can surmise that it was around a B+. I like the fact you're going to be getting Matthew Tkachuk back, giving up Rantanen. I know Ryan hates Dallas and hates Rantanen. So it's good to get Matthew Tkachuk. If he's healthy, he bangs a lot, hits, he shoots. He'll get you a lot of points as well. And you're also getting that 1st-round pick here. I'm not a fan of giving up Rasmus Dahlin here. I think he gives you a lot more value over someone like Roman Josi. Again, Roman Josi, he is already missing time. We don't know what he's going to be, but like next year, and Dahlin is just a stud. So I don't like giving him up there. And then the other part to that was Horvat in a 4th, receiving Nichushkin in the 2nd-round pick. To me, that's kind of like, flip a coin. I'm okay with either side of those, to be honest. So overall, I probably would make this trade.
Okay. All right. Next up, I actually really like pretty much every part of this deal. The only part that I really didn't like was Dahlin. Like giving up Dahlin in the keeper league is a tough spot just because I believe in him so much. He's young. He's one of the best defensemen in the league. The rest of it, though, like honestly, like I'm not like Horvat's okay, but I feel like you can get again a similar style player in later drafts, and then just getting all this capital back, I feel like is fine. I'm big on Matthew Tkachuk for next year. So yeah, I think like he nailed most parts of these trades, honestly. And Ryan with a C. Oh.
Yeah, I'm giving this a C. String of 3 trades. So we're basically saying we won and now we're selling. And I don't think your returns are enough if you're just gonna, throw in the towel this year, get some picks, and go for the win next year. You're giving up. So your keepers are Matthews, Dahlin, and Rantanen right now. You're giving up two of those keepers in Rantanen and Dahlin. You're getting back Matt Tkachuk and Roman Josi. Like, I don't even know if Roman Josi is going to be your third keeper next year. So that's where I'm struggling here, where I don't know why you're giving up Dahlin for Josi and a first. Sure, you're getting that first round pick, but now you only have two great keepers. I don't think Roman Josi is a solidified top 36 player next year. We'll have to see. But I also think that it might be too early to just be selling off assets. You know, your trade deadline is probably late February, early March, and there's going to be a lot of people in the running who are going to be willing to pay up for assets, and you're making these trades now. You're giving up Rantanen and a second round pick for Matt Tkachuk and a first round pick. So you're only getting, let's say, a 12 pick increase for the switch of Rantanen to Matthew Tkachuk. And although I was down on Dallas early in the year, again, similar to Anaheim, I think I'm being proven wrong because of the ice time, and I just wasn't expecting the ice time that Rantanen's getting. I was expecting him to go way down to like 18 or 19 minutes. Oh, here we go. I might have to get myself a Dallas Stars hat. We'll see. But Rantanen's up in like 22-30 range, and I was worried like his on ice stats, his on ice shot generation isn't as great, but he isn't getting the dip in ice time. So I think 90-point Rantanen is actually realistic, and I think you're giving up too much here. So I think wait until there's a bidding war for these players in these keeper leagues for you to sell off all these assets.
Very good. Very good. I thought that was a very interesting trade with these keeper leagues. Thank you, Terry G. All right, next one. Brian, you want to get into this one?
Yeah, let's do it. So we got another trade here. It's a category league as well. It's going to be goals, assists, shots on goal, power play points, shorthanded points, hits, and blocks. You're going to be giving away Cutter Gauthier, and you're going to be receiving Clayton Keller. This was also submitted by Jason Kent, 24.
All right, I got a B+ here. Cutter Gauthier, we're selling high. He's on a 109-point pace, but I think that we can all agree there's no chance he's going to get 109 points this year. Where if you were to pick a player between Gauthier and Keller this year and say who is more likely to clear 100 points, I think we're all picking Keller. And yeah, we'll see if the Anaheim hot streak continues, but I would be buying on Keller at the moment if you can give up Gauthier for him.
Absolutely. Same grade, same reason. I think it's, I mean, you want to do it with players that start hot like this, like Cutter Gauthier, Pavel Dorofeyev, etc. It is hard because Cutter Gauthier is so young and he was so touted and he's doing so well. But Keller has very much proven that he is a 90+ point player, and Utah is only getting better. So yeah, I'm with Ryan on this one. You got to take it. The only reason it's not an A is because Cutter is doing so well. And Brian.
Yeah, I gave it a B+, which is the same as everyone else here. Yeah, I don't want to be redundant here, but I think you can be more assured with what Clayton Keller is going to do over what Cutter's going to do. To that point, also looking in at Clayton Keller's points throughout the season, he's had a lot of zeros followed up by like a 4-point night, a 3-point night. So he's got that dog in him, right? And he's been a little streaky. So if that evens out, I think you're going to be really happy to have Clayton Keller.
Yeah. All right, Ryan, get into this next one for us.
Let's do it. We got a Cats League here. Looks like a nice, true bangers Cats League with goals, assists, unfortunately plus-minus, but penalty minutes is included, face-off wins, shots, hits, blocks, and special teams points. So they group shorthanded points with power play points here. And we are giving away Philip Forsberg and Tomas Hertl. We're receiving JT Miller. And Evan, you are up.
Yeah, I would not do this trade. I think that Nashville is a tough watch right now. I still think Philip Forsberg is on pace to do kind of what he did last year, 70 points, 30 to 35 goals with great category coverage. Tomas Hertl, again, I still think he's like a 60 to 65 point player as well. He's going to get those face-off wins. He shoots decently enough as well. I just don't think that JT Miller is enough like of a difference between those two players of what you're getting back, like giving away to get back. Like I don't think he's that much more elite than Philip Forsberg, and then you're also giving away Tomas Hertl. I would not do this trade. The Rangers are a complete disaster, and although everyone wants to say they're buy lows and their playoff schedule, et cetera, I'm not convinced that there's going to be a true turnaround to like where we all thought the Rangers were going to be a huge bounce back. This is almost like Nashville last year where everyone's like, they go out and get Stamkos and Marchessault. They're going to be like contending for the cup. They're going to score a ton of goals. Their power play is going to be lethal. All this talk. Everyone thought the Rangers are going to be better. JT Miller's back. Like, I don't know. I think that they look completely dysfunctional right now. It is going to turn around a bit, but by how much? And how much is JT Miller really going to get at that point? So I would not do this trade. Brian.
Yeah, and I would also not do this trade. You look at individually, Philip Forsberg, as Evan already mentioned, he's going to score. He also does a ton peripherally. And Tomas Hertl is no slouch either. Not to mention he is playing on a line with Mitch Marner. That seems to be the matchup or the lineup that they get, and that's going to give him a good runway here. 4 points, playing a top power play. The Rangers, we know how they are doing this year. So for me personally, I think that's given up too much to be getting JT Miller back.
All right. And finally, Brian would make this trade. Spoiler.
Yeah. This has just reached my criteria for making this trade. I'm giving this a B-. I would do this trade. I was very high on Philip Forsberg to start the year, and I have him in a few spots, and that's made me look deep into him and start panicking a little bit on my Philip Forsberg shares. He's on a 60-point pace. I do think he'll get back up to the 70-point range in there. Last year he got 76, but I don't think he'll clear that. I just don't think the ice time's there and the talent isn't there in Nashville. And if they start trading away assets in Nashville, he'll have no one to play with, and that'll be very worrisome for your fantasy playoffs. So that has me worried about Philip Forsberg. Hertl, I think, is a little hot right now that he might come back to earth and settle into like a 65-point range. And I'm still on board the Rangers. I still believe that there is a bounce back coming. I think they are getting unlucky. If you look at all of the on-ice stats, they're still generating shots. They're still generating scoring chances for, expected goals for. They're just not putting it in the net. They all have low shooting percentages. They all have almost like, if you're looking at the on-ice numbers, almost like a full goal under expected scored. Full goal scored under expected. Panarin, his on-ice stats right now, he has 2 goals for per 60, 2.8 expected goals for per 60. JT Miller, it's 3.4 expected goals for per 60 and 2.4 goals for per 60. So they're still generating tons of chances. They're bound to put it in the net. I do believe they will. There's too much talent there. So I am making this trade, but I would try to get a little bit more than just JT Miller. If you're giving up Hertl and Forsberg, just get a second player in there, ask who they would drop, and then be like, okay, well, I don't want that person, but who else can you give me in the mid-range tiers to replace my Tomas Hertl? That's why I'm giving this a B- and not higher than that.
Ryan says, do this trade, but exercise caution. Real quick on the Rangers. I mean, I agree. It's, I don't know how many more empty nets that Lafreniere and Zibanejad can miss with JT Miller feeding them cross creases, but it seems to be piling up. And I think, to your point, Ryan, looking at the numbers, it's kind of crazy that they haven't buried more. But there's something, in the locker room that you can't see there. It's not tangible like numbers. You can't look at them. You can't feel. It's the mojo. And, that room right now, I wish I could share a picture of sad JT Miller talking to reporters, but we'll move on. I'll get into this one. This is a points league. Goals, assists, power play points, shots, blocks, hits. Kind of some wonky, like 4.5 for goals, assists 3, power play points 2, shots on goal 0.5, blocks 1, hits 0.8. I almost thought this was kind of a joke trade. It's giving away Kyle Palmieri and receiving Jackson Lacombe. This must be a crazy like Islanders fan, but we'll get into it. Ryan, you gave it what?
Yes, I gave it an A+. Not much to talk about here. I do think these are both, I believe this was a 12-team league. I think they're both, you could find both these players on the waiver wire, to be honest. Jackson Lacombe drafters could have dropped him by now, and Kyle Palmieri is a waiver wire level player. So yeah, I think I'm taking Jackson Lacombe. If anyone's dropping him, I'm holding on because he's that true number one defenseman. So this is an A+ for me. Not much else to get into here.
Yeah, same. As a Jackson Lacombe owner in a few spots, I'm happy to see he's finally getting some points, which is kind of crazy. Like, I don't know if you guys saw that diving assist that he had to Frank Vetrano, not in the last game, but the prior game. It's like he's having to work so hard just to get his points when Anaheim's scoring insane amounts of goals. And if I see Jacob Trouba get one more point, I'm going to throw a remote through my TV.
Yeah. Trouba just like fans on the puck and it goes in the net.
I had my buddy pick up Jacob Trouba and say, hey, like, what do you mean? He's going to get 40, 50 points this year. I'm like, what are you talking about? Brian, boom it up.
Yeah, this one gets a couple boobs. I ran out of pluses to add, but this gets an A++. Even if in a 12-man league, if they're on waiver wires, I would bet you $1 million that Palmieri has been on the waiver wire a lot longer than Jackson Lacombe has over the past 2 years, and for the foreseeable future as well. I think top-level defensemen, power play one, quarterback defensemen are far and few between. Jackson Lacombe is a true power play one quarterback, top-line pairing guy. A lot of value there, whereas Palmieri, you can easily replace him with, I don't know, 200 others that might be available. So, yeah, I'm smashing that all day.
All right. Ryan, you want to get into this one? Trade 7.
Yeah, yes, sir. Now we have a points league with 6.5 points for a goal, 4.5 points for an assist, and then extra point for game-winning goal, power play point, a shot is 0.7, along with a hit and a block is 1 point. And we are giving away Mikhail Sergachev and Dylan Holloway for Jackson Lacombe and Val Nichushkin. And we have me up first here. I'm giving this a B. I would do this trade. You are giving away the better defenseman. As much as we love Jackson Lacombe, I do think Sergachev is the better defenseman to own in fantasy. I don't think there's a good argument to make for the rest of the season of like, yeah, I'd rather Jackson Lacombe over Mikhail Sergachev. Sergachev just has that top spot solidified, a true power play 1 minutes in terms of the power play share there in Utah. And he's got good block numbers as well. So we are giving away the better defenseman, but Val Nichushkin for me, he's just a totally different player from when he was off the top power play, and his minutes have gone up insanely compared to when he was line 2, power play 2. And I'm on board for Val Nichushkin. That's a player of interest here. So I would give away Holloway and Sergachev for Nichushkin and Lacombe.
So you're telling me you're still trying to shop Val Nichushkin to me in the Experts League. That's what I'm hearing.
I mean, he might be the best fantasy player the rest of the season. That's what I'm saying to you. And you might want to get your hands on him.
I might. So I would also make this trade for very similar reasons as Ryan outlined. I think the difference between Nichushkin and Holloway is far greater than Lacombe and Sergachev. But yeah, I'm a big Val Nichushkin fan, Ryan. When you were saying when he was off the second, I thought you were going to say off of something else. Yeah, we need to get him back on. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, he's great. So I'll definitely do that trade. And Brian.
Yeah, I like it a little bit more than I guess the other two guys here. I gave this an A. The reason being, if I look at the two players right off the hop, just to Evan's point, I think Nichushkin is a lot better than Holloway, especially in the Colorado environment. I think Sergachev is a little bit better than Lacombe. So for that reason, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to make it a big upgrade at forward. I'm going to take a slight downgrade on defense. I'm totally fine with that. I can live with that. And considering Lacombe had a very slow start to the season, we would assume that he would kind of pick that up as the year goes on. Although so did Sergachev. So yeah, I see Sergachev and Lacombe pretty similarly, but I think Nichushkin is a lot more valuable to you than Holloway is.
All right.
Right on. And before we go into the next one, I do have a question for you guys. Matias Michelli just scored against his old team. Do you guys think that this whole revenge narrative thing is real? Because it's a thing where every time it happens where, a player scores against the old team, you hear about it. It's a huge story. I'm like, oh yeah, of course. But then when it doesn't happen, you just don't hear about it. And is it real? I have no idea. What do you guys think?
I think it has to be to an extent.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it definitely is real. I think players, they might go through like different mental preparations. So they're a little bit more locked in for the game. And when they don't score, it's just unlucky. But I think all the preparation goes into it. Might be a little bit differently going in each game. So I definitely think it is. They're going on a revenge tour, 100%.
For me, it's like I actually did. I put a tiny bet on Michelli to score tonight just because of that revenge narrative and won it. But it's like looking like I didn't like the bet because I'm like, Michelli doesn't shoot. He's like always just he's the passer. He's always looking for the pass. But look at that. He shot. He scored. Good for him.
If you ever want to know who to stream, goalies, players, just DM me and ask who I'm playing against in fantasy, and then that's the answer.
Are you against Michelli right now?
I am against Michelli, Matthews, OEL, the whole bit. So as we get into our 8th trade grade here, points league, 16-team auction draft. Interesting. Goals 2, assists 1, plus minus 0.1, PIMS minus 0.2, power play goal 0.2, power play assist 0.1, shorthanded goal 0.5, shots 0.1, hits 0.2, blocks 0.2. We're giving away Joel Eriksson Ek, Panarin, and Anders Lee. And we are getting back Brady Tkachuk and Miguel Sergachev. Brian.
Yeah, I'm not making that trade. Giving away Panarin, Jeek, and Lee, and receiving 2 players back. Brady Tkachuk coming back off injury. I'm not too sure. First of all, Brady Tkachuk in terms of his point ceiling isn't very high for a first, early second round pick. And coming back from an injury, it could be a little bit slower. He will give you the bangs for sure, which is helpful. But I think you're giving away too much, giving away Jeek and Lee on top of Panarin. I think Panarin, we've talked about this extensively. Panarin should be a guest on this show. I feel like we talk about him extensively every single week. But Panarin, I think he's due for some positive regression. He's going to get some points in there. Jeek has great exposure to some talent in Minnesota. And Anders Lee, kind of proving people wrong this year again. I thought he was going to be just really bad compared to last year, and he still seems to be putting up some points. So I would actually prefer to hold on to that.
Okay. I would make this trade. I think when I look at this, I am, as we outlined, I am not big on Panarin. I don't really see the turnaround being so great that Panarin is going to be worth where he was drafted this year. I do think Brady is going to return that value, and we've kind of talked about where we value Sergachev. I think he's a number 1 defenseman. I guess it depends on the rest of the team, but I want Brady Tkachuk. I think Brady Tkachuk is the best player in this trade, and giving up Jeek and Panarin, I think to get a top defenseman and then Brady Tkachuk, I think to me is worth it. It's close, but it's worth it for me. Ryan.
All right. For me, I'm with Brian here. I'm giving this a C. I'm not doing this trade. Brady Tkachuk, he's likely to miss another month, possibly 3 weeks to 4 weeks from this point. So that's still a substantial amount of your fantasy season that he's, you're losing out on Jeek, Panarin, Anders Lee, and you're only getting Sergachev for the next 4 weeks possibly, and then Brady Tkachuk comes back. So maybe you're 4-0 and you're sitting pretty and you're just like, yeah, sure, I don't care. Give me Brady Tkachuk for the fantasy playoffs for the end of season. But no, I wouldn't make this trade with the PIMS actually penalizing you in points. Brady Tkachuk isn't as valuable as most leagues here. So I have Brady Tkachuk and Panarin pretty similarly valued in this point setup. And then, I'd rather Joel Eriksson Ek over Sergachev at the moment. And then it is a deep 16-team league, so Anders Lee isn't just a waivers player. He has been really good to start this season, and he's definitely worth a roster spot. So I'm not doing this trade.
All right. Trade number 9, Brian, you want to outline this one?
Yeah, let's do it. So this is going to be a 12-team category league. We got goals, assists, power play points, plus minus, shots, hits. And then for the goalies, we got win, save percentage, goals against average, and shutouts. So the players here, you're going to be giving away Jordan Binnington and Brad Marchand, and you're going to be receiving Travis Konechny.
Just 2 rats. So I would do this trade. I mean, anytime you're getting, just getting the exterminator in there and getting in a decent level player, you do it. I think the difference between Konechny and Marchand should be fairly sizable. Florida's doing a lot of weird stuff with their power play. Brad Marchand, surprisingly, is honestly one of the bright spots on the Panthers right now. He's scoring, he's kind of doing stuff, but I still think Konechny should put together a better season than him. And then you're trading away, as Brian outlined earlier, one of the worst goalies in the league. I think Binnington will figure it out. The Blues will kind of right the ship a little bit, but right now it is not good. Just as a goalie, when you're trading away a goalie, like I'm pretty much all in for trading most goalies for anything of sizable value. Brian?
Yeah, I'm doing this trade. I was just going to pull up. I want to see if Binnington is still in net right now because Washington has scored 5 goals on St. Louis. So I might actually want to make this trade a little bit sooner. I would definitely make this trade. I think Konechny is the best player in this trade. So you're going to get an upgrade on Marchand. To Evan's point, he's been the bright spot in Florida, but Binnington right now for me is not it. He's been really, really bad. And you're going to be getting the best player all around. So that kind of frees up a roster spot for you for a streamer. And who knows, maybe Jet Greaves is still available. You can pick him up and slot him in instead of Binnington.
Picked him up today. Hopefully he does well. Ryan?
Yeah, you guys didn't give out A's. Surprise. I'm giving this an A. We're getting rid of Binnington. I'd honestly drop Binnington in a Cats league. Win save percentage, goals against average, and shutouts. I think Binnington can be a drop, and I'd be happy streaming 0G in a league with those Cats. Akira Schmid, Scott Wedgwood still in a timeshare. Maybe even Colton Ellis here and there when he gets a start. I'm happy streaming in this league. I don't need to hold on to Jordan Binnington. So for me, I'm really just looking at this Brad Marchand for Travis Konechny, and Konechny is more the sure thing. And I think Marchand is running too hot for my liking. His line is scoring more goals than expected. The high shooting percentages all around him, Lindell, and Eetu Luosterainen. And then when Matt Tkachuk returns, and possibly if Florida can get super healthy and everyone returns, Marchand, I think, is just a third line player on the second power play. So that might be what you're looking at for your fantasy playoffs. So I'd take Travis Konechny in a second.
All right. And then we get into our last trade here. I'll kind of outline it. So this is a 12-team points league. Goals are worth 3 assists, 2 power play points, 1. Defensemen get an extra point, fantasy point for their points. Shots on goal, 0.2. Hits, 0.2. Blocks, 0.3. And faceoffs are 0.1. We are giving away Jason Robertson and Nikolai Ehlers, and we are receiving Elias Pettersson and Miguel Sergachev. The reason I wanted to outline this for you guys is this is my personal trade that will process tonight at 3 a.m., So we will see and get into it. Ryan.
I'm giving this one a D. That was a blind grade. I didn't know this was Evan's trade that is going through here. I swear. Giving away Jason Robertson and Ehlers. I don't know. I think we like Jason Robinson and Nikolai Ehlers here. I do for sure. Again, if you haven't heard, Dallas is playing. A lot better than I thought. Actually, I don't think they, in general, as a team, are playing a lot better than I thought. The top guys are receiving tons more minutes than I thought, and Jason Robertson has turned into a shooter out of the blue. I was worried that his shot rates would go down this year based on some inconsistencies I saw last year, but those inconsistencies have gone out the window, and he is a consistent high volume shooter now with Greg Golitzin as his coach. So that's really great to see. So I'm loving Jason Robertson. I'm loving Nick Ehlers to bounce back. And yeah, I am not loving Elias Pettersson and Sergachev. We already explained who he is. So I think if you're in Evan's league here and you were able to pull off this trade, you're lucky this trade got in before we put this on the pod, because he might regret it now. We'll see. Although I might be in the minority here. But yeah, D for me.
So I'll kind of outline why I like this trade. And it's more of a situational thing for me. Nikolai Ehlers, I do believe, is going to turn things around. He scored his first power play goal. He had 6 shots on net in like 15 minutes of ice time last game, which is pretty good. I don't believe he's going to get to some of these higher point totals that a lot of us had him projected for with the ice time and the way they shake things around in Carolina. I still like the player. I'm in a situation in this particular league where I have a lot of wingers. I've got Marty Nikas, I've got Kirill Kaprizov, I've got Wyatt Johnston. I've got a lot of high-level wingers and not high-level centers or defensemen. So it was more of a positional need for me. So I kind of made the move. I don't think it's an absolute smash of a trade. I think it's going to return value for me for what I need. Elias Pettersson with faceoffs and periffs, even in this league, is going to probably come close to equaling Jason Robertson's production unless J-Rob goes like completely nuclear and gets 100+ points, which I'm not sure is going to happen. But I made the trade and Ryan hates it. So let's move on to Brian.
Yeah, I gave this a B-.
Right.
So, but for me, a B- is I wouldn't make the trade.
No.
Yeah, but I can be swayed. The reason it's in the B range is because you're giving away Jason Robertson and Ehlers, and you're getting Pettersson and Sergachev. So you get defensive points in Sergachev. Pettersson gives you a lot peripherally. You get that face-off points as well. I think that there's a lot of value there. Yeah, Pettersson's not scoring a ton, but he's going to give you a lot of points peripherally speaking. And then in the off chance, what if Ehlers doesn't turn it around? Well, what if he doesn't? What if he just can't figure it out in Carolina? That's a big problem. And if that's the case, then I think you're stealing this trade. But I think we all believe he will turn around. And so for that reason, J-Rob and Ehlers has a lot higher of a point ceiling here. So that's why I just wouldn't make the trade.
I should also caveat this with the best center I have in this particular league is Bo Horvat. And I know Bo Horvat's killing it, but he's my only center. So, as we outlined, I also have Ghost and no real fifth defenseman. I got Jackson Lacombe, Darlene, and Cam Fowler are my defensemen. So
are there four roster spots for D?
5.
Oh, there's actually 5. Okay,
yeah, so 5 for D. So I guess a little less of the details that you got there, Ryan.
That's all right. I still give it a D. Just fun fact. Fun fact here. Nick Ehlers and Jason Robertson have a collective 4% shooting percentage right now.
I understand. But you know what? Briefly on Dallas, I don't know if you guys have watched many Dallas games. I have. Wyatt Johnston might be in for a bit of a career year here, and he's been kind of on the uptrend, but this guy is doing everything, and his zone entries are unbelievable. I love Jason Robertson, but I will hate it a little less if Wyatt Johnston's getting in on everything J-Rob does later in the season. I'm just going to tell myself that.
Yeah, I mean, in that last game, they stacked that top line with J-Rob, Wyatt Johnston, and Rantanen, and they just played them like they were playing McKinnon and Rantanen back in Colorado. It was fun to watch, that's for sure. Rantanen and Johnston, I think, each got 3 points, and Robertson only got 1. But, you can have those games where Robertson's the one who gets 3 points instead, and I think that'll come.
Yeah. So now, Ryan, why don't you talk to us about category crushers?
Yeah, so new segment we're bringing in here and there. We want to highlight your category leagues and specifically some players who are your category crushers, and they might be under the radar, providing you some category coverage of late, and we want to highlight them. So first up, Brian, you are going to take us away.
Yeah, Marcus Foligno. First of all, he's been banging a lot. And if you are in a category league and you are, you're falling behind in the hits category, definitely suggest you pick up Marcus Foligno if you can fit him in there, because he plays tomorrow, Friday, and Sunday. So that could really really do you well in that category moving forward. He was averaging about 1.9 hits per game in his first 7 games, and you got to do a double take here, but he's averaging 5.2 hits over his last 6 games, which is insane. Looking in even at his last minutes that he's been on the ice, like last game was about 16 minutes, and then before that is in between the 10 to 13 range. So he got a lot of minutes last game, which is why he was also able to throw out about 8 hits in that game. Not to mention he's covering PIMs, obviously. He's never afraid to throw the hit. Sometimes it could be interference. Sometimes he'll take some penalties. He'll give you some penalty minutes there as well. And lastly, for a forward, he does a pretty good, decently job of covering blocks. Like just looking in at what he's done this year, he's averaging 0.92 blocks a game. So for a forward, almost averaging a block per game is insanely valuable, especially in category leagues when maybe you have some great defensemen, but they don't cover the blocks, and that's usually what you have an outlook on defense for. Marcus Foligno is a great option for that as well. It is up from last year. Last year he averaged about 0.64 blocks per game, so he's really upped it this year, just under 1, and throwing the body a ton. So that's Marcus Foligno for you.
Love that, Ryan.
Awesome. All right, and I'll take you to another under the radar category crusher. This one specifically only if you're counting penalty minutes in your league, but I'm bringing up Ross Johnston. And if you don't know who Ross Johnston is, well, he plays in the 4th line on this flying high Anaheim Ducks team. So don't expect much offensive production. He did have 1 game where he got 3 points, which was absolutely wild. That was a 3-point game, a goal, 2 assists. He was +3 with a 5 penalty minutes and 4 hits as well. So that was just a killer game for him. But yeah, he has dropped the gloves 5 times already this season. He's averaging 2.64 penalty minutes per game, as well as 2.64 hits per game. And I think he's really solidified an NHL role on this 4th line where he won't be scratched like he has in the past. He's been a healthy scratch plenty of times in previous seasons, but I think he's earned around 10 minutes a night now. And in true bangers leagues with penalty minutes, he can really fill the PIM category and the hits category for you. So don't expect much offense, but he's probably under the radar in your leagues.
Love that.
And not to mention, he also has 3 more games this week as well. So if you wanted to squeeze him in there to get some hits, that's super helpful too.
Ross Johnson's ownership just went up 30% in Yahoo Leagues. Last one here, Brock Faber. Getting 2 blocks a game, 2.5 shots per game. He's upping his volume in the past 8 games here. 5.6 attempts. And not only is he like doing this stuff peripherally, the guy's getting points for doing it, and his ice time's insane. Don't look now like everyone's looking at Zeev Buium, but Brock Faber was kind of like left to the wolves after Buium was announced as the top power play guy. But Brock Faber's doing it in the second power play and even strength. He's got a goal and 6 assists in his last 5. Is that good? 27 minutes of time on ice last game, 25 the game before that. Brock Faber, not just in like the category coverage, but I feel like in standard leagues, somebody picked him up off the wire like before he started doing this 2 weeks ago, and I kind of laughed. I chuckled to myself, and now I'm kind of kicking myself for not doing it. But yeah, really good stuff from Brock Faber.
Yeah.
We've got to the end. Ryan, did you have anything to add on Brock Faber?
No, just crazy how he's really changed his game the last 3 weeks. He's just shooting the puck a lot more, which is good to see.
He was jealous of Zeev Buium, I think is what it was.
I think he wears glasses. Did he put contacts in or something? We got some comments at the end here real quick. I'll kind of run through these rapid fire. You guys stop me if you need to comment. When is a good time to pick up Carter Hart if you don't have an NA spot? 20-team league, goalie cats are win, goals against, save percentage, shutout. I'm not worried about picking up Carter Hart until I see that he's starting personally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, 20-team league, you might have like 50 goalies rostered, maybe more actually. So there's still going to be some backups. I think Akira Schmid is doing his thing, and the Lindblom Lindblom is the other one. He's fine. So I'm not rushing to pick him up either.
Yeah. Armin says trade Nazar for Luke Hughes. Absolutely, I would. Then he says Rust for Luke Hughes. That's a little bit more difficult depending on your team and point setup and everything. I probably would not at this point. Depends. It depends. I probably still would, but depends on the setup. Any comments on that, Ryan? Brian?
You love Luke Hughes.
I'll leave it at that. I don't know if I would do those trades at the moment.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Well, guess I got some work to do. 10-team goals, assists, shots, hits, power play points, not trade, but would you grab Luke Hughes off waivers, dropping any of Harley, Lacombe, or Seth Jones? No.
There we go. All right.
I love Luke Hughes,
here.
but the honesty comes out there. But yeah, I mean, we'll just, we'll pump the brakes. Luke Hughes is a good player. Okay. Who are my 4 keepers and a keeper forever here? Jack Hughes, Matthew Tkachuk, Werenski, J-Rob, Nikas, Jarvis, Carlson, Cutter, Gauthier. I'm not saying definitively you're going to keep any of these Anaheim guys over Jack Hughes, Matthew Tkachuk, Werenski, J-Rob, Nikas. I think you got to go the top 4 that you listed there for me personally.
Yeah, same with me. I might go Marty Nichas instead of Matt Tkachuk, to be honest. But that's the only question mark there.
Yeah.
Armin, trade Geeky for Luke Hughes. Yes.
I don't even know if I would do that.
Oh, Ryan, stop it. Nikas and Shabbat for Brat. Nikas, Shabbat, and Brat for Larkin and Nazar. Did I get cooked? Yes. Like a goose.
100%.
Yeah, unfortunately, you got cooked. Sorry, Arman. One more comment here. We have Ray. I have Panarin, and I have no idea what to do with him. Ray, if you will, find a quiet place, take some deep breaths. You just put Panarin into that left wing slot in your lineup and leave him there and just ignore him for a week or 2 and then come back in 2 weeks and you'll be happy.
Do some deep meditative exercises.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff. All right, guys. Well, everyone, be sure to get into the Discord. Send us your trades and then send us proposals as well. We're going to start going over some more proposals so that we can tell you guys in a more educated setting whether or not we would actually do the trades. But still send us your ones that have been accepted and we'll grade them. We got some harsh graders in here, but some good material. But yeah, we'll see you guys next week. That's all we've got for this episode. Hopefully it brought you some value and helped you get a little bit better at fantasy hockey today. Many thanks to Matt Creamer for supplying the music for the podcast. Thanks for listening, guys. This is Trade Talks, and I'm back, baby. We're back. The trio's back.